The first part of this video is going to demonstrate how to get a new pickguard set up with new potentiometers, new pickups, new switch, and line the back of it with a sheet of copper foil. We will be lining the inside of the guitar cavity with copper foil, but that'll be part of part 2, where we install this new pickguard into the body, or onto the body. So this part will be just showing you how to get everything installed onto a pickguard. So the first thing that I did was I took a sheet of foil, copper foil, and what I did was I laid it down with the foil side up. Then I laid the pickguard down with the front side facing downward on top of the foil, and then I took just a cheap knife, utility knife, and went and just cut all the way around it. The reason I did it this way is because, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the side of the pickguard is chamfered, and so it's actually smaller on the front than it is on the bottom. So the reason I did that was so that when I set this down, the knife, I can put the knife in at an angle and cut that around, so that the foil, when it's done, the foil has a nice little offset from the edge. That way it's not, you don't see it from the side once you attach it to the guitar. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is attaching this down and then cutting out all the areas where the pickguard, or the pickups and the potentiometers and the switch will stick through. Okay, so here you can see I have all the foil. I placed the foil on the back everywhere. I went and I cut out the holes for the pickups. I poked each of the holes out, the mounting holes, with a nail. I just had a nail here and I poked them through. That's way it's a little bit easier. I cut the hole out for the switch, and now I'm gonna get ready to mount all the pots, the pickups, and the switch. So here we have the pickguard with the pickups, the potentiometers, and the switch all mounted. And here's the back side of it. And now we're going to get ready to solder all the leads to the appropriate connections. So what we've got at this point is I have all the pickups wired to the switch and to the back of the potentiometer, the volume pot. And so I got all the wires going from the pickups already in place. So now I have some additional wiring I need to do to run between the pots and the switch and so forth, using the wiring diagram that I have. The wiring diagram that I'm using came from Seymour Duncan. It came with the pickups that I purchased. Okay, so what we have here is I have the wiring completed on the back side of the pickguard. I have all the potentiometers, switches, and pickups wired and soldered. Looks like a mess, but I don't know if there's any way around that. It'll all get hidden as long as we have good solder connections. I guess it doesn't much matter what it really looks like on the back side. I did put some wire ties to help try to tidy things up a little bit. But I hooked up the, just temporarily, I hooked up the jack outside of the guitar. That way we can give it a test to make sure at least the switches and everything are wired properly. So to do that, now I have the amp. I have it plugged into the amp. So what we can do is we can put it in selector switch position 1. And as you can hear, when I tap on this pickup, we're getting sound, and not on the others. In position 2, we got on the first 2 and not the third. In the middle, we only got it on the middle pickup. In position 4, we have the middle and the bridge. And then on the bottom position, we have it only on the bridge pickup. So it looks like at least that part's wired properly. As far as the tone controls, we're not really going to be able to test that until, or these are the tone controls, until we get hooked up into the guitar. But we got that pretty much taken care of. So the next step will be to take the pick guard off of the old guitar and gut all the wiring and get all this put into it. So we'll see you then. Okay, so what we have here is I remove the neck and the pick guard because in order to get the pick guard, it's kind of underneath the neck a little bit up here. So I just felt it was easier to remove the neck, and then it'll make it that much easier putting the new pick guard on. So this is what we have. This is the wire that comes back from the grounding for the tremolo. I just cut it off. I'm going to use the same wire and connect it to the volume potentiometer. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to line this entire cavity with the copper foil, similar to what we did on the back side of the pick guard. That way we have a good shielding of the entire electronics. So this is where we're starting with, and we're gonna just line it all with the foil. Okay, we finished lining the entire guitar cavity with foil. As you may notice, I do have some aluminum foil in here mixed in with copper. I ran out of copper, so I used some aluminum that I had laying around. It's really important just to have the copper in areas where you're going to be soldering, because it sticks to the copper a lot easier than it does the aluminum. So that's really the main. So I made sure I at least had enough copper for these areas. Because as you can see, I don't know if you can see it in there or not, but there's a wire that is connecting this upper cavity with the output jack's cavity. So it's important that you make sure that all this is connected. I'm going to do so with my continuity checker. For some reason it's not beeping, but according to the readings, it is showing that there is continuity among everything here. So basically it's a continuous surface. So the next step will be to run the wire for the output jack from the pick guard, run it down in there, wire the output jack, and then reinstall the pick guard. Okay, so now I have the tremolo wire, the wire that is grounded on the tremolo. I push that back up through, and that's coming through. And another thing that I need to mention is how up around the edge here, it's kind of laying over on the face, the front surface of the guitar. That way it can come in contact with the sheet of copper that we had put on the back of the pick guard. So it's important that the tape extends up and folds over onto the front surface of the guitar. Okay, so here is the finished product. We got the pick guard put back on with the knobs and everything installed. We got the jack put in. We put the neck back on. We added strings, and we also put on these locking strap. A lot easier to put on and take off the strap. So now it's time for the demo with the new gear.